Good afternoon. I'm Sean Yao and this is One News Now. The COMELEC's First Division dismissed 3 petitions to disqualify Bongbong Marcos from the presidential race. To tell us more, Greg Gregorio joins us live from Manila. Greg, hi, good afternoon. How did the COMELEC First Division come up with this ruling?
Good afternoon, Sean. As written by Commissioner Amy Ferrolino, the COMELEC First Division pointed out the four grounds that were common on the 3 petitions for disqualification filed against presidential candidate Bongbong Marcos. And these are the perpetual disqualification for Marcos to hold public office, and the crimes involving moral turpitude, and then the imprisonment of more than 18 months, and then the qualification of Marcos Jr. to run for presidency. Based on the division's decision, it said that even the CA ruling on the conviction of Marcos on his tax case, it did not mention the provision for perpetual disqualification against Marcos, and then it also did not provide an imprisonment more than 18 months, and thus Ferrolino penned that the crime or Marcos's non-filing of income tax returns could not be deemed as a crime involving moral turpitude. With all of these 3, the COMELEC First Division believes that Marcos Jr. is qualified to run for president in the 2022 May polls. Sean?
Right. It is also no surprise, Greg, that all this has cast doubt on the integrity of the poll body, especially said by a petitioner, Bonnie Ilagan. What did the COMELEC have to say about their integrity?
Sean, we've able to talk to COMELEC spokesperson James Jimenez earlier this morning, and he said it is unfortunate that the petitioners are now having doubts on the integrity of the COMELEC after the release of this decision from the COMELEC First Division. But Jimenez highlighted that if you have a case and bring it to the COMELEC, there will always be a decision regardless, or there will always be a decision. Sometimes it is not the decision that the petitioner is expecting or want. With this, Jimenez said there are still avenues for the petitioners to appeal their case. Sean?
All right. Well, Greg, what about that other pending disqualification case? This time it is with the Second Division of the COMELEC. Is there any update on that?
Yes, Sean, we're talking about the petition for disqualification filed by Pudno nga Ilocano, or under the Salandanan et al. Versus Ferdinand Marcos Jr. And this was raffled to the COMELEC Second Division. There is no decision to that case yet, and the COMELEC hasn't released any word as to when could the decision on this case may be released. But COMELEC spokesperson James Jimenez highlighted that the en-banc may rule on possible motions for reconsideration to these 3 DQ cases, regardless if the Second Division will issue their decision on the Salandanan et al. Versus Marcos Jr. Sean?
All right, and now what is the next move for the petitioners, Greg? Are they planning to appeal this decision? Can it still be appealed, or is this the end of the road?
Yes, Sean, according to Attorney Howie Calleja, the counsel for Ilagan et al., they will be filing their motion for reconsideration on this case by Monday or Tuesday. And when they were asked if they are confident that the COMELEC First Division's ruling may be overturned at the en-banc level, Calleja said whether or not the en-banc decides otherwise, they just request for the COMELEC to resolve the matter at their level at the soonest time possible, for them to elevate this matter to the Supreme Court so that we may have a decision or clarity on this matter before the May 9 elections. Sean?
Thank you so much for those updates and do stay safe. Greg Gregorio reporting to us live from Manila. Let's check in on the latest on today's campaign trail. Presidential aspirant Bongbong Marcos continues his campaign in Cavite, the bailiwick of opponent Senator Ping Lacson. This comes one day after the COMELEC First Division junked the consolidated disqualification cases against him. The former senator is expected to attend an El Shaddai event later tonight before continuing on his Cavite tour tomorrow. Meanwhile, his running mate, Davao Mayor Sara Duterte, is in Cabanatuan City to lead the opening of the Marcos-Sara Duterte Alliance headquarters. Mayor Sara was accompanied by senatorial aspirant Herbert Bautista, who was recently dropped from the Lacson-Soto ticket. And Senator Ping Lacson arrived in Davao del Norte for his team's campaign rally in Tagum City. Lacson was welcomed by Governor Edwin Hubahib and former House Speaker Pantaleon Alvarez. Presidential aspirant Isko Moreno's campaign manager is questioning the COMELEC guidelines on new normal campaigning. In 1PH's Sa Totoo Lang, Lito Banayo admits that strictly enforcing COVID-19 protocols in campaign rallies is a challenge. He added that it will be twice as hard once local officials begin campaigning next month. Banayo also called out the COMELEC over the tedious process of securing permits for motorcades.
Be real, COMELEC. Be real, DILG. Pag-isip-isip nga kayo, get your feet on the ground. No? Hindi ganun kadali yung mga kung ano-ano sinasabi ninyo. No? Para bang gusto nyo, wag lang mag-eleksyon.
Presidential Advisor for Entrepreneurship Joey Concepcion warns that many of the country's vaccines could expire soon. To get more updates, we have NTF Advisor Dr. Ted Herbosa over the line. Good afternoon, Dr. Herbosa. Can you confirm and enlighten us on this matter? Just how much vaccines are nearing their expiration dates, really?
Good afternoon, Sean, and good afternoon to the televiewers. Our vaccines that we procure have shelf life of up to 6 months. So depending on the time they are delivered and the time they arrive, the shelf life already starts from the time they come out of the manufacturing plant. So we will have vaccines will probably expire in 30 days, in 60 days, in some with longer, 4 months, etc. So it's all different because they are different deliveries and different batches.
What is the government's plan to avoid wastage as much as possible with these vaccines? We know, of course, that they are holding big vaccination drives nationwide.
Yes, Sean, we've been doing this vaccination since March 1 of last year. And so far, we have very few expiry because we have had a process wherein all of these are accounted for, their expiry dates and their supply chain delivery. So it's it's a very complex supply chain management system wherein those that are expiring long are still kept in cold storage while those that are expiring in a few days are released to the vaccination center. So there is a system to make sure that we have minimal wastage of the vaccines which we have gotten in our stockpile. These vaccination tools that we implement are very, very useful in delivering vaccines that are due to expire because they are able to give them very fast in a short period of time. This time we're trying to target 6 million vaccinations for these 2 days.
All right. Speaking of vaccination rate, Dr. Herbosa, how are we doing? Are we hitting targets? Are we, online or at least in line with projections on how many % of the population vaccinated for now?
Yes, we now have about 60 million Filipinos that have received 2 doses or are fully vaccinated. And we plan and target 70 million Filipinos fully vaccinated by the end of March. And by the end of June, we want 90 million Filipinos fully vaccinated. We're also very happy to report that we already have about 9 million adolescents, the 12 to 17 age group, that have also gotten their full dose of 2 vaccinations. And then we are very happy to report also that the recently launched 5 to 11 years old has gotten a very warm response from parents and mothers who have vaccinated, I think, about 30,000 children already since we started in February 7. And by February 14, we will be going nationwide with the 5 to 11 years old.
Right, looks like we're on track with our vaccinations, including the 5 to 7 age group. So having said that, Dr. Herbosa, is it possible that the NCR will soon shift to alert level 1?
Of course, it's possible, but there are other intervening events that we have to look at. There is a campaign period, and you actually know that what happened to India last year when they allowed campaigning after they achieved a certain level of vaccination caused the outbreak of the Delta. So that has to be studied very well by our IATF and the technical advisors so that we can make a decision on whether to lower or continue at alert level 2.
Right, and Dr. Herbosa, one last question. As we approach, our goal of vaccinating each and every Filipino, what if there is still excess vaccines? Are we open to donating these vaccines so they don't go to waste, just as other countries donated to us?
That's always a possibility, but so far there are still many Filipinos who want to be vaccinated, and that's the advantage. That's why many countries are donating their excess vaccines, and some of those donations are the ones that are 2 months or 3 months expiring. So we accept them anyway because we are able to absorb them and deliver them very quickly to the Filipinos who want to be vaccinated.
All right, thank you so much, as usual, for taking our call and for your time. NTF advisor Dr. Ted Herbosa on the phone. Thank you, Doc.
Thanks.
Let's now take a quick look at today's other top stories. A recent SWS survey states or shows that more Filipinos are in support of mandatory vaccinations and stricter restrictions on the unvaccinated. Around half of survey respondents agreed to enact into law the proposal requiring all Filipinos to get vaccinated against COVID-19. Meanwhile, 32% strongly or somewhat disagree, while 17% are undecided. The Octa Research Group says that Metro Manila could be under very low risk category for COVID-19 by March. Octa fellow Guido David said daily cases could settle below 200 by the end of the month. And in entertainment news, crash landing on new stars Hyun Bin and Sonia Jin are getting married. The couple first confirmed their relationship in January last year after starring in the hit Korean drama series. For more updates, visit News 5, The Philippine Star, and Business World online. Visit our website, onenews.ph, for more in-depth analysis. You can also catch One News on the Signal Play app. Register for a free account at www.signalplay.com and stream One News live anytime, anywhere. Masks on, wash hands, and stay safe, Philippines. I am Sean Yao. We are One News.